Hello guys, so I want to take you guys on a little adventure that we took about a month ago with our team to examine a new habitat of wild Bettas smaragdinas. So these snippet of clips are just some footage that we actually filmed. So the full footage will be later in the video. So these are just some bettas that we caught. So the really cool thing about these fish is actually it's a new habitat and a new lineage that we actually discovered on the day of filming. Now the process is usually by looking at Google Maps and seeing any pool of water in the map and any potential habitat that could actually have wild bettas. So we found a few and then we looked at this one. So this one's actually the first habitat that we went to, but we had to travel through really tiny roads into farmland and also into potato fields. And I mean, these roads are usually farmland in rural Thailand, so there was a lot of rice paddies and also potato fields. But we did get to this area and then we completely got stuck in the mud. Our bikes were done, we couldn't even get out of the mud, so we just left these bikes here and then we had to walk about 2 miles to actually get to the destination that we're trying to get. So as you can see, the bike is completely stuck. We couldn't even get it out and we were barely able to walk across these potato fields, and we had to walk through a sugarcane plantation. So all of this were flooded since it was peak raining seasons. The bettas can actually come up to these areas to spawn. So we just kept walking through this sugarcane plantation and we were literally getting cut up by these leaves. You know, it was so hard to actually get through. As you can see how thick the plantation actually was, but we made it to the habitat that we thought might have wild bettas, and we actually saw a bubble nest. So the bubble nest is usually around the edges of the habitat, and what these bubble nests are is just some males that actually come to these areas to make a nest and then hopefully try to attract some females. So this one's actually an old bubble nest. We didn't see any fish in here, so we just left it how it was. And my friend actually called me over and said they found a bubble nest. Now the thing we do with bubble nests is we always examine them before we actually try and scoop the fish up. So this habitat had a few bubble nests, but most of them were actually filled with eggs and also really large ones. This one was actually a really small bubble nest that was recently created by this male, and my friend is using his hands to actually try and scoop it up. The reason we use our hands in these type of environments and in type of habitats is just because the thick vegetation just doesn't allow us to get the net down into the water to actually catch it. So our hands is usually the best tool that we can use. And the male we actually got was pretty small compared to the other ones that we saw. Obviously, the smaller the fish, the smaller the bubble nest will be. So this is the fish here. It's pretty tiny. It's probably about 1.3 inches. So we're going to put this in the bag for you guys to see. And this is the male that we just caught. I added him to the bag so you guys can see. His color is still really vibrant, but after a while they usually turn pale because of the stress. Obviously catching fish is always going to cause stress, so we try our best to not stress the fish too much. And the next clip should be a clip of an underwater footage of a small rock pool that we found underneath the mountain. And this is the root system of water spinach. Now water spinach can be found all over the place in Thailand. Anywhere that has water, you'll find water spinach. I'm not sure if it's native to Thailand or if it's invasive, but the habitat that these fish are found in always have water spinach. It offers great coverage and also really good filtration, and that's why I always use it in my breeding ponds, and it's a great plant for the parents to actually spawn in and also the fry to feed and hide in when they grow up. And it was actually cool watching a group of these barbs actually feeding on algae, and as you could see there, a rasbora just swam by and it should be swimming back in a bit. And usually we do find these in a shoal, however this one was alone, so he probably got trapped here in the rock pool. So these are what the rock pool looks like. So during the rain actually rushed down from the top of the mountain and into these creeks, and these fish can actually come up here into these rock pools to find a pair and spawn, but some of them get trapped. And these are actually a pair of rasbora and also a barb that has stuck together. So they probably got trapped here and they'll wait for the next rain to actually leave this spot. But you don't usually see them shoal up like this, but I guess being together is safer than being alone. So these guys are pretty cool. It's quite strange to see that they're actually swimming together and hunting together. And after we finished at the rock pools, we went back down to the habitat to check on the bag of fish that we actually left to lure the male back to his territory. As you can see here, the male outside of the bag is actually another betta trying to fight and bite the other male betta. So wild bettas are really territorial. So as you can see here, he's trying to get into this bag to actually start fighting each other. And wild bettas are really territorial, so any other fish or male that comes within their proximity, they'll basically try and actually fight them. So this guy is just trying to get into this bag, and obviously he couldn't get in, and the other fish is actually flaring back as well. So usually when they do fight in nature, the losing male usually has to leave the area, and the winning male will protect this area and then hopefully spawn with a female. So this guy's just trying to get into this bag. So after we finished filming, we went to the other side of the mountain to film some more rock pools, and this is what the biotope really looks like around this area. Lots of fallen branches and sticks, and this is just a fish coming here now. So this is a barb. As you can see, there's lots of plant matter just basically all over the place. And I found this small stream, and I just dipped my camera in just to see what kind of fish or wildlife that we can actually see. And we saw this whisker shrimp. So these whisker shrimp are actually really aggressive. So any fish that will come near them, they'll try and nip them and then eat them. And there's also rasboras swimming around everywhere. This place is just teeming with life. And here are more barbs. I'll put the scientific name on the screen for you guys for each of these species that you see. And these guys are probably the most abundant of species that I see in these rock pools. It's probably because they live in a shoal, and the color reflecting from the sunlight is so pretty in person. I really want to get it on camera, but sadly my camera won't show how colorful these guys are. And I ran out of clips for the day, so I'm just showing you guys one more clip of some aquatic plant that I saw. So if you guys know what plant this is, just let me know in the comments. I'm also doing a giveaway on my previous video on my channel, so be sure to enter that because I'll draw the winner this week. Thanks guys.